I always felt inadequate and ignorant. And it bothered me that I didn't know enough. And my children were growing up. And like, what happens if my child asks me a question on Hilchos Shabbos? Or my son comes to me and says, Dad, do you want to learn some Gemara? You want to learn Taisus with me? And what's my answer going to be? Here's an art scroll. Nothing wrong with art scroll. I love it. I use it. I said to myself, do I want to be ignorant? Do I want to feel foolish? Do I want to feel incomplete? So I decided slowly, doing 10 minutes a day. And I did my own Chakli Yisrael kind of thing, which basically was a little bit of Tanakh, maybe a Mishnah, a Halacha, and I just started off very small, 5 to 10 minutes a day. That grew to 15, to 20. It's kind of like weight gain. It just creeps up on you, but in a good way, this kind of spiritual gain, I'll say. And then slowly but surely, I was really interested. Then about 3 years ago, something went off in my head, and I said, you know what? God is so good to me, so kind to me. Let me do something out of character for him. So I started waking up early on Shabbos morning. And I decided why Shabbos morning, because, look, I work very hard. I work 2 different jobs. I work a good 60 to 65 hours a week. And I'm not trying to boast. I'm just trying to help others realize this. I said to myself, if I really want God to quote unquote go out of his way for me and give me the things that I need to not just to survive, but to thrive, I need to do something meaningful. I have to give up something. So I decided to start waking up early Shabbos. First, it started off waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning, learning for 20 or 30 minutes. Then I said, you know what? I don't need so much sleep. I'll sleep in the afternoon. I have plenty of time. Then it became 7:30, 7 o'clock, 6:30, 6 o'clock. And I don't want to tell you what time I wake up in the morning, but it's before the roosters crow. And now I'm at the point where Baruch Hashem, I give a weekly chabura to BJX people. These are people that not all of them had the yeshiva background that I was gifted with, and I decided to give back. And I feel so good about it because I feel like I finally have come full circle. And that Rebbe in 9th grade that told me, you guys are just furniture. You'll never amount to anything. I'm laughing at him now. I said, I'm a piece of furniture? Well, if I'm a piece of furniture, I'll be a very expensive piece of furniture because I'm doing the right thing and I'm able to help people learn, and it's helping me. And now I'm involved in a lot of different projects. Baruch Hashem, I was able to make a siyum for the 11 Jews that were murdered in Pittsburgh. I made a siyum for the woman that was killed in San Diego. I'm making a siyum shortly for a brother-in-law of mine who lost his father. I'm doing a siyum for my uncle, Olav Shalom, Ram Yitzchak ben Yaakov Zev, Alvin Liu, who passed away from COVID. I'm finishing Seder Tyrus from Mishnayos. I plan on finishing Shisha Sedra Mishnah before the end of the year. And these projects keep me going. And I noticed, especially when I had the pain, even before I forgave the people, while I was in the midst of giving my chabura, my class to the guys, the pain went away completely. It was as if God injected me with some sort of spiritual epidural that took away all the pain. And that's really why I did this, because I just wanted to grow, and I feel good about myself. I feel like a winner. And even in my darkest moments, the learning keeps me upbeat and brightens my day. Learning has become like a life force to me. It's my spiritual cup of coffee. I actually feel a pressure if I don't finish my goal for the day. It's almost as if you're at work and you have crunch time. You have that deadline to make. And I have my certain amount of Mishnayos I have to learn. So I learn a little bit in the morning. And then if I could steal away 5 minutes in the afternoon, I said to myself, I need to be hungry. I need to be engaged. And this is something that's really important for everyone, that the Torah has to become something that you must have. It has to be your spiritual water. Without it, you can't survive. Like the famous story of Rabbi Akiva, that a fish out of water, that's us out of water. If we don't learn Torah, it affects you, it impacts you, and you become lower as an individual. And I started seeing changes in the way that people interacted with me. Many times I felt, after getting bullied and hurt throughout life, people don't respect me, people don't like me. The minute I started learning more Torah, everybody around me, coworkers, friends, family members, all of a sudden started looking at me differently. They wouldn't say anything, but their treatment of me was much better. And I started looking at myself as being somebody much better. It's my spiritual narcotic, so to speak. It's a feel good, but it doesn't have any negative effects. And it's addictive, but a good kind of addiction. So that's really what it is. Everyone's looking for that magic potion, that drug. Unfortunately, many people turn to very, very bad things. Torah is the type of thing that if you get addicted to it, It just makes you better and better. And the more addicted you get to it, the better you become. And your day-to-day things don't bother you as much. The flat tire, it's not such a big deal. The little leak in the pipe, okay, have to call a plumber. It's $120, not a big deal. And I started seeing a different change in my life. Whereas in the past, I used to use some discretionary income to buy a fishing rod. I'm a guitar player, buy a new guitar, buy a new tchotchke for my guitar. Now, when no one's looking, I'll buy a set of Orach Chaims in English. I'll buy a new set of Chumashim in English. I'll buy a new Mesifta Gemara. Now, my little toys, or so to speak, my man gifts to myself are no longer stupid, ethereal things. They're Sfarim. They're boutique Sfarim that you can't get in America. Somebody goes to Israel, I don't ask him for Johnny Walker Blue. I ask him, can you get me a Kehilas Yaakov on this and this Masechta if you're in Bnei Brak? Can you do it for me? And I'll drive them crazy. I'll drive 5 people crazy until I get it. And when I get it and it comes to my house, I feel like it's a signed Babe Ruth ball to me. It's like the most precious thing in the world. It's something that I have this and nobody else has it. And this is something that doesn't happen overnight. No quantum leaps over here. It's got to be small, easy steps, because if you try to reach levels that you're not ready for, you will crash and burn. It's like with anything in life. It can't be extreme. It has to start small. The same way a person goes down, right? The Yetzer Hara doesn't tell a person, hey, go worship idols, go steal. He does it slowly. Hey, you don't have to learn an hour a day. Learn 50 minutes a day. The same way the Yetzer Hara makes you drop things slowly but surely, that's the same way you must combat him by making yourself go up and making yourself be a person that's upward bound and not lower bound. And that's very, very important. And to have peace and harmony. And Bernie, we were talking about Yom Kippur and how important it is. And I told him what I do on Shabbos. He said, you're crazy. I said, I know. Guilty as charged. But I said, you want to be crazy with me? Because what do you mean? I said, listen, we all need things from God. We all need quote unquote brownie points. I said, what do you say? How about meeting me 6 o'clock Yom Kippur morning in shul so we can learn some Gemara together? He said to me, you're out of your mind. You're nuts. I said, okay, I'll be here. All of a sudden, I thought it was some homeless guy, knocking on the door. Who's knocking on the door at 6 o'clock in the morning? It was Bernie. So he goes, are you ready? I had to take a step back. I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course we're ready. And the Rovt came in. It was like 8:30 or whatever. Bernie and I were sitting there learning Gemara. And he was like, what time did you get here? I said, 6. But it's Yom Kippur. I said, so what? What, you take a break on Yom Kippur? You do more on Yom Kippur. And Bernie has been a fixture ever since. And throughout the entire Corona episode, he has been coming to my Zoom classes. And we're ready, chomping at the bit to come back to physical locations so that we can do it face to face. And we're ready to, we're locked and loaded and ready to go. And this is something amazing. And none of this would have happened unless I had a shaykhus connection to BJX. I needed that spiritual octane, that extra, 5-hour boost, so to speak, to do that. And this is that cappuccino, that little extra coffee that you need in the morning, that little extra caffeine, that little extra boost that you need. It's very easy, being a frum person living in Flatbush, to get spiritually burnt out, not being happy with the status quo. And I felt as an individual, I was hungry for change. I was hungry for the uncommon. It was important for me to see people growing, but not just regular people like me, people that came from backgrounds where you would not expect growth, coming in and being spiritually made over. Just think of it as a makeover. You buy a really, really ratty looking house. You pull out the old pipes, you pull out the old wires, you fix things up, and then you flip the house and you make a ton of money. I said, I need to be in a place that does that to people. And I coined this term, a spiritual body shop, where we never write anybody off. There are no wrecks. Anybody that comes into BJX is loved unconditionally and is made to feel that they can improve, but not through fire and brimstone. You're a bad person. If you don't improve yourself, you're going to a bad place. Because honestly, that doesn't work. And honestly, that's not really very Jewish. So what blew me away about BJX was that I came into a place where I felt, to quote the show, where everybody knew my name. I felt that everybody knew my name, cared about me. And what blew me away was, it was one winter, I didn't come to shul for whatever reason. Maybe I had a cold or something was wrong. I don't remember the exact thing, but the Rav sent somebody, it was actually Alvin Lou, my uncle Olva Shalom, to knock on my door to see if I'm okay. And that blew me away. I said to myself, wow, this place cares about me so much. So that caused me to want to grow. And the Rav was always encouraging, but both the Rav and Rav Moshe, very encouraging and proud of my accomplishments, to the point where if I finish Masechta, I send a text to Rav, hey, I just finished Masechta so-and-so. Whatever, a month later, I just finished this in Tanakh. And it's a feeling, it's that giddy feeling that we all had as children in kindergarten when we did our little project and we brought it home and our mothers and our fathers were proud of us and took that piece of paper, that cute little project, and put it on the fridge. So I feel now proud of my accomplishments, and I know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is taking each and every one of my accomplishments and putting it on his fridge, Kaviyachol, and showing his Pamal Yishal Elyon, his heavenly hosts. You see? Look what BJX did. This Masechta is all courtesy of BJX. This Gemara, this Seder that you're learning with the guys is all because of BJX. And BJX is not a nice thing to have in the neighborhood. It is absolutely vital. We're worried about all the horrible rioting that's going on in the world, and all the crazy things that are going on. We have to worry about the spiritual holocaust that is happening within our ranks. And if we don't take care of that problem, it's not going to go away. And BJX is that antidote. So we need to support this organization in any way we can, financially, by helping out with your talents, whatever your talents are. If you could donate your time, donate your talent. This organization is vital. This is the heart and the circulatory system and the central nervous system of this community. And we do so much good. And more than that, we don't even know how many bad things did not happen during COVID. How many bad things could have happened that didn't happen because of the schus of the millions and millions of mitzvahs that this institution causes others to do. And watching people come in not being able to read Hebrew, to be able to give a Dvar Torah that is being sent out through the WhatsApp group. I was blown away. I saw one of the students from Murrow, a Russian boy, who was giving a shiur, a 5-10 minute class on Chumash. It blew my mind. Here's somebody a few years ago couldn't read an aleph or a beis, and now is able to be able to promote Torah, to be able to disseminate Torah, and that is something that you will not find anywhere in Brooklyn. That is for sure, and probably not anywhere in the world. So this is a magical place. It's a spiritual playground where you just feel good and you grow, not because somebody's forcing you to grow, because you want to grow. BJX, as it currently stood, was very small. It was uncomfortable because so many people want to get close to Hashem. So when you hear a good thing, you have a little cute little restaurant that's serving great soup and great food, all of a sudden everybody wants to get some. The restaurant has to expand to be able to serve its clientele. We cannot complete our mission, bring everything into fruition, unless we have a larger facility to host shiurim, to have a ladies section with ladies, because women are very, very important. Without women, we wouldn't have gotten out of Mitzrayim. They need to feel comfortable and have dignity and have a normal sized ladies section. Children have to have a place to play so that they don't disturb the services. There has to be a classroom. Hey, I want to give a chabura in a classroom where I could teach more than 3 people, where I could teach 30 people, where people can come from all over the neighborhood and come here various shiurim.